Hello, and welcome back to the next session on building a marine structure using Autodesk Revit 2016. In today's lesson, we'll take a look at the initial project setup to ensure proper coordination down the road as the project continues to progress. These first few steps that we'll take will set the precedent for our model moving forward. To start with, we're going to start by creating a new project, and by doing that, if you go to your Start screen on Revit 2016, we'll click the New button, and then we'll make sure that Construction Template is selected. I've found that this specific template works best when you have both structural and architectural elements combined in the same project. We'll click OK, and that'll go ahead and create our template. Just in case, if you need it, I've included the same template in with the class files, but this template does ship out of the box with Revit 2016. Now that it's open, we need to do a little bit of cleanup. The first thing that we'll do is on the left-hand side in Project Browser, we're going to go through and start by selecting one of the elevation views. Just go ahead and double-click the north elevation view. And we're going to clean up some of the extra levels that we don't necessarily need. Specifically, these ones that are below 0 elevation. Go ahead and select them, delete them, and choose OK to the warning message that appears. That's essentially telling us that, hey, these levels, when we delete them, the views that reference the levels will also be deleted. The next thing that we'll do is we're going to want to set our levels in relation to our specific project. The first level, level 1, we're going to select and rename this level by clicking on the text where it says level 1, and we're going to call this MLLW. My number one rule with Revit is whenever I rename a level, I always rename corresponding views. Once you break that association, there's no way to get it back. The second level, I'm going to name Laser Scan Low. Again, I'll choose Yes. The roof level, I'll go ahead and rename to Laser Scan High. The next thing I'll do is set the elevations for these levels. For Laser Scan Low, I'll set that to 1 foot. Laser Scan High, I'll set that at 14 feet. Next, we'll go ahead and create 2 more levels. So if you go up to your Architecture tab, on the far right, you'll find the Level tool. And I'll go ahead and create this in a left to right fashion. One of my tips with levels is always create them so that you get the extension highlight from endpoint to endpoint. And when you do that, you'll notice that you get the blue parametric constraint lock. The padlock is already locked, and that indicates that the ends of this level that we just created will be locked to the ends of the other levels that are in the project. This makes it really easy to control them in other views as the project gets larger. I'll make one more view above this. Again, I'm not really concerned about where in elevation I create them, because once I'm done creating them, I come back, I rename them, and I set their elevation. This one we'll name Top of Existing Pier. And we'll choose Yes to rename corresponding views. The upper one we'll rename to Lifeguard Deck. The elevations for top of existing pier will set to 15 feet. And the Lifeguard Deck will set to 30 feet. So now we've got our elevations configured. there's a few other things that we'll want to go through and take care of. We've got some extra 3D views in here that we don't need. So we can go ahead and select the first one, hold down Shift, and select the last one, and delete those. We won't need ceiling plans for what we're doing, so we can delete all of those. And we can get rid of these existing structural plans and just stick with the floor plans for the purposes of what we're doing. The next thing that we'll do is we'll go to our site view. And in our site view, we should be able to see our project base point, which is a circle with an X. And we should also be able to see our survey point, which is a triangle. The other thing that we'll want to do on the site plan is we're going to want to turn on a shaded view. The next thing that we'll do is we'll configure the top of existing pier view. So we'll go ahead and open that. One thing I like to point out here is this view has a view range already set for it. And this view range will limit the extents of what we can see above and below the pier. Same it goes for the lifeguard deck and laser scan low and high. The last one that we want to set is our 3D view. Now you can hit the little building hut up here on the top, and that will jump you to your 3D view, or double clicking it from Project Browser. Both accomplish the same thing. Now in this view, I like to set this to shaded. I like to turn on shadows. And if we also go into graphic display options, there's a couple others that I'll fine tune. I'll check the box smooth lines with anti-aliasing, and I'll expand shadows and check ambient shadows as well. Those two settings I've found make for a really smooth 3D view. Some would even liken it to a 3D view that's shaded within SketchUp. So hopefully that helps you see a great way to get a good start on your project. Configuring the views and levels will go a long way in ensuring that the information that we have in our project is going to display where we want to see it. Thanks for watching, and come back soon.